Wait, we're going live now. We're live.
Are we live now?
Yeah, we're live.
Hi.
I was just
Hi,
talking
we're
about...
apparently alive.
Yeah, I was just...
We're staying alive.
Yeah, staying alive. I was just talking about keeping God in a small pen.
You've been playing Arceus.
I've been playing Arceus.
Arceus.
Yeah. Arceus. We're gonna go with an Italian...
Arceus.
Yeah. Hi everyone, welcome to the Bats and Bones Art Show.
Welcome to the Bats and Bones Art Show, where you have important discussions about Pokemon name pronunciations.
Yeah. Hi Cass, hi Shiny Zubats, glad to see you both.
Hello, friends.
I didn't do any social media posting about that we were doing this.
You should probably fix that.
We were just talking shit
Eat bones every day.
For the whole 5 minutes we were fake live, where I normally used to be like, hey Discord, I am live. Hey Facebook, I'm live. And I didn't do any of that this time.
Yeah, so we just kind of sat here chatting.
Yeah.
Which, don't get me wrong, was great. I love seeing my buddy Kyle.
I do indeed also love seeing my buddy Alan. Oh, that's my own audio coming through.
Oh no.
We're great at this.
Poisoned.
It's fine.
Poisoned.
It's content. Yeah.
Anyway. Well, peoples, today, in light of the fact that Pokemon Arceus Legends, whatever it's called, continues to exist.
And is actually quite good.
And a lot of people enjoy it. And also this Elden Ring thing came out today. Yeah, we're going to be taking cute Pokemon and turning them into Dark Souls bosses.
Yeah. It's a very Drawfee-esque prompt, but
It is a very Drawfee-esque prompt, but we're kind of a Drawfee-esque show.
Yeah, we've never pretended to not be ripping off Drawfee.
Yeah, no. We're the dollar store version of Drawfee.
We're the dollar store version of Drawfee.
There's fewer of us, our prompts aren't as good, and we aren't quite as funny. But damn it, we care.
But we're getting there, and we're cheaper.
Yes.
We're cheaper than the free content Drawfee.
One of these days you will actually point at the camera.
Like I said.
Like 40 episodes, my dude. And I keep occasionally getting you to...
Well, it's a more artful
we think of the
angle.
monitor as a face.
There's also, like, I was trying to actually put the camera here and maybe get this backdrop. The cords don't reach.
Oh, damn.
So it's not.
Can you get, like, extension cords?
For USBs, I'm not sure, maybe.
I'm pretty sure USB extension cords are
kind of considering.
If not, I could just get you a longer USB cord. Like, they're not that expensive.
Well, the problem is the one that's, like, attached to the... Yeah.
Yeah, USB extension cords are probably a thing.
Anyways.
Anyway.
Drawing Pokemon as Dark Souls bosses.
And since I did specify cute, that also means we can't lean on our usual crutches of Kingler and Toxtricity.
Kingler is adorable. What are you talking about? Look at this delightful Kingler plushie.
I mean, everything looks cute as a soft plush toy.
I rest my case. But yeah, no, we whenever we give ourselves a Pokemon prompt, it's always Toxicity and it's always Kingler, so I do stand by that. This time, we're not doing Kingler and Toxtricity. That's not to say we're never going to do Kingler and Toxtricity again, because...
No, of course not. They're our favorites. I say very professionally.
Guess what we're not doing Kingler for once.
How can we betray your beloved crab?
Oh, hi everyone. Wow, chat exploded while I was gone.
Oh boy, it did.
Yeah.
Let's catch up with that real quick.
Unreal says, want me to do Discord? Just do it in your server and I'll copy. Yeah, please. I like Drawfee prompts. I'm really stoked for this prompt. Unreal says, Skeleton King, make your Discord announcement and I'll copy. I just did. I didn't have chat up. I'm sorry.
Hello, the Iron friend.
Kingler's
I
adorable.
almost called you the Iron Friend.
The Iron Friend. Hello, Iron Friend. Hello, Batpunk. Hello, Skeleton Friend.
Is that the extra children's oriented version of Iron Man, the Iron Friend?
I was thinking Iron Giant.
Oh yeah, he's kind of Iron Friend, isn't he?
But I do like Iron.
Superman.
Hello, Iron Child. Where the fuck did I put my phone?
I do not know. Would you like me to call it for you? There it is.
Nope, that's my insulin pump.
Oh.
No, this is my phone. That's my insulin pump.
They were together. They are both phone-shaped, in my defense.
No, they're right. I was saying it
Technology is rectangles.
Yeah, technology is... Hey, Alan's drawing first. Get in the chair.
Technology is rectangles. Hello, I'm in the chair.
Alan's in the chair.
I'm in the chair.
Rudy's
got the chalk.
Wow, I actually put the pen in the right spot for once. That's
You did.
New and fun.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Nerd. Alright. Let's see, is this slow enough? Not quite. There we go. We obtained maximum slow.
Yeah, I did some recording with Iron Oki the other day for anachronistic, and he gave me shit for the speed of my mouse too, and I'm just like,
Yay.
oh, look at me, I'm Alan, your mouse goes too fast.
It does though.
I do have bloopers of that conversation saved because we were recording when Jer went off on me.
Nice.
As Ionoki says, I didn't think this dystopian future. No, it's I didn't think my cyberpunk dystopia would have so much insufferable beeping.
So much. I'm gonna I need to actually see the monitor.
That's legit. The sun has been out, and so I have been having sun.
Why does the sun gotta exist?
I like the sun personally. I have chosen sun above efficiency.
I guess I will tolerate the sun's existence. Alright. So, you know what? I'm going... Since a proper Souls boss has a boss subtitle, I am going to actually give the name first. Have fun with that.
Mother of Orbs.
Yes. Because, you gotta give it a proper overwrought name.
I'm so
title.
curious.
I know they're usually smaller than this, but you know what? I don't care. Just stick a little healthy bar down there on the bottom. See, I think there's an auto-shaped tool kind of deal. Yeah. Just do that. Except it won't... Oh, right. Well, let me do it on that layer.
I am trying to hastily think of a Pokemon that's not Kingler to draw.
A cute Pokemon.
Thank you, Abner Doodle, for
Thank
helping
you,
with
Abner
the
Doodle.
posties. The posties. Thanks for helping with the posties.
The posties. All right. So we've got that health bar. We've got yeah. Let's just get to it.
Here's a question.
Yes.
By what category are we just saying cute?
I mean, generally agreed upon, I'd say. Because, cute is subjective. It's true, but there are Pokedemands that more people than less agree are cute.
That is fair.
There's grass in Dark Souls, right?
Sometimes.
Occasionally, it's existed.
There is in fact grass in Dark Souls.
I mean, it's probably usually in poison swamps, but you have played more Dark Souls than me, which is to say you have played any Dark Souls at all.
Dark Souls is a very interesting game.
It sure is an experience I like a lot of what it tries to do. I will say that. It's not a game for me, but I appreciate that it exists.
Speaking of how we're doing a crossover between FromSoft games and Pokemon, I would like to levy one of my very few complaints at Arceus.
Okay, please do.
It was only really noticeable in two of the last big, I would say quote boss fights, but the final battle felt like it was trying to be a Dark Souls boss without the Dark Souls tightness of controls.
Ooh.
So it didn't...
Not pleasant.
Yeah, it didn't feel fair the way Dark Souls boss fights feel. Because, I guess I'm going to say, it's spoilers for the Pokemon in Arceus. It's been out for quite a while now, but...
2 whole weeks.
Yeah. So, the two bosses I'm going to talk about are Tornadus, who's one of the, genie Pokemon.
Okay.
I don't know if you know them.
Oh, yeah, I'm kind of aware of them. They have the, faces, right? With the jaws.
I kind of hate them.
Yeah, they don't look great. They're not one of my favorite designs.
And then Arceus, the man himself.
Yes.
Mr. God.
The boy.
Yeah.
The lad.
And, and something Arceus. Right. So Tornadus, one of the genie Pokemon. The other two genie Pokemon were fine. They followed the the same essential, like...
I mean, I'll be honest, I don't like any of them, but...
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I'm talking about specifically the encounters.
Okay. I thought you were still talking about designs.
No, the designs suck all around. I mean, they're the same thing, they're just different colors.
That's fair.
And similarly, they follow the same design philosophies as, like, individual Pokemon. You have to do some fancy things to find them, and they only appear in certain weather conditions. And then when you finally find them, they run around super fast. You have to hit them a certain number of times with different... Are you doing Diglett?
Nope.
Oh, wow. You have to hit them a certain number of times with various things to get them to, like, let their guard down so you can actually fight and capture them. And all while you're trying to chase them down, they are spawning tornadoes that are wherever you happen to be immediately when they need to hit.
Oof.
I'm not... Let me be clear about this. They just appear. So if you happen to be within iframes when they appear, it will appear where you will land after your dodge is done.
Ooh.
If you are not in iframes from a dodge, it will just appear directly under you and you can't move fast enough to get away. These tornadoes also two-shot you.
Oof.
It sucks. It really sucks.
That
And
sounds like
Tornadus in particular was in an ice field surrounded by a bunch of angry Glalie that are always trying to shoot blizzards at you.
Nice.
It was the most infuriating experience I've ever been through. That is an exaggeration, but still. No, it sucked because, at least with the others, there weren't the Glalie in the way, or, let's see, I think it was Thunderous was in the water, so, like, there were a bunch of Gyarados around, but you were on your, like, magic fish that you could jump around with and throw Pokeballs from the back of. You couldn't do that against Tornadus. And yeah, no, I'm okay with cheap attacks in a boss fight as long as the punishment for them is low. But no, you get hit twice and you're done, and that health bar does not regenerate for a long time.
Does not sound like a good time.
Yeah, it was really dumb. And it really started to show some of the, like, loosened screws in the system. Because I will say that, like, Arceus, I kind of don't want to play old Pokemon games. Like, I don't want them to go back and do old Pokemon games anymore. If I want to play an old Pokemon game, I'll play an old Pokemon game. I want them to learn from Arceus and
I think they're going to remake all of them at least once. Probably up till at least Sun and Moon is my prediction.
Kind of hope not. Or if they do...
I kind of also hope not, or they'll probably forget Sun and Moon because for some reason they hated it, even though it had a story.
But, like, I really... I think Arceus did so much right that, like, learning from it and maybe finding a different... finding a different medium between, like, where it's at and the original Pokemon games is good.
Yeah.
But I don't... Like, it showed so much innovation on the part of Pokemon that I feel like it meaningfully took the Pokemon formula and made it something better and modern. And if I want to play, if I want to play Red and Blue again,
you'll just play Red and Blue again.
I'll just play Red and Blue again.
I'm gonna go grab my mask real quick.
Go for it.
Because despite having taken some meds, my nose is bugging me. And the easiest way to keep everything less gross is to mask up.
Gotcha. There's tissues over there too.
Fair enough. On you.
Just pull your nose away from the camera though. Ironoki says, I appreciate boss fight design. I think it's easy to lose sight on the key factor of it needs to still be fun. I know what Pokemon this is. That is absolutely the mother of orbs. Oh, I see. I know which one it is now.
Haha! Would you like to hazard the guess?
Is it Chansey?
It is Chansey.
Nice.
Well, yeah, Chansey's kind of cute.
Arceus, when I say Arceus, I mean the... Pluddle T says, I missed the first couple minutes, so Mother of Orbs has me intrigued which orb Pokemon this could be. I think we just said it out loud. Shiny Zebra says, I wouldn't hold your breath, Kyle. The only consistent thing about Pokemon Company is that they neglect good ideas after doing them once. Yeah, I know.
It is kind of their MO.
It's Chansey. Arceus, the boss fight though, like it wasn't bad. It's just the dodging mechanic was kinda, it wasn't enough to do the trick, and the like you can't really cancel out of a throw and you can't really cancel out of a dodge when you should.
So once you've input something, you gotta commit to it.
Yeah, and the attacks are very much balanced around the normal canceling you can do. Like, I'm not saying you should be able to cancel out of any part of a frame, but it just doesn't seem possible to cancel out of, like, a throw animation. And
I thought I'd hear someone talking about iframes in the context of a Pokemon title.
I know, right?
Except maybe, like, I don't know, a Pokken tournament.
Mm-hmm. Shiny Zubat says, "This did great, made tons of money, and the fans and critics both love it. Throw it in the trash and set it on fire. Never mention it again."
Oof.
Looking at you, was it Pokemon Coliseum?
I mean, they made a second one.
They did make a second one, you're right. And then never again.
And then never again. I mean, you know, just give them enough years. It was, what, 20 years between Pokemon Snap installments?
Funny thing about Pokemon Coliseum, some of you follow Loopy Fritz's channel, My Friend Plays, where we started doing a Pokemon Coliseum run, and not like 5 days after we posted our first episode, Jello Apocalypse released a much better Jello Apocalypse Pokemon Coliseum playthrough video.
I'm still in awe of the one where he just drank all those lemonades. Such is his star power, where he can just be like, I'm gonna drink 80 lemonades and you're gonna watch me.
So he and some friends played some Pokemon Coliseum, and yeah. Shiny Zubat says Pokemon Snap 2 has given me so much hope. I hope so. I hope they do more with it.
People do like the snaps. There was a lot of hype surrounding that one, I noticed.
And I'm just getting ready for Daddy Pokemon to let me down again.
Oof. Oh, he will, because your protagonist never has a dad. Except in Gold and Silver, apparently.
No, it's Ruby and Sapphire.
Ruby and Sapphire. That was the installment where your protagonist has a dad, because he's a gym leader.
Yep. But yeah, I think Arceus is the best Pokemon game so far, in my opinion. Mainly because it's new.
I'm gonna stick with Sun and Moon as the bestie of the restie.
Well, guess what? My phone just died, so I'm gonna have to continue winging my idea of what Pokemon I should draw. Thinking.
Love Disc.
Live Disc. The
Everyone's
best Pokemon.
Keeping it real, 1885. Sorry.
Now we're ripping off Drawfee and Jello Apocalypse.
Well, the copyright strikes never cease.
Oh, neither Drawfee nor...
No.
I'm not worried about them copyrighting us. I'm worried about it being a social faux pas. Steal their prompt.
I don't think we're directly stealing any of their prompts.
We're not. And we are a different show.
We are a very
I just really like Drawfee, and I really want them to like me.
Same. They are good at what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe someday some crossover action.
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day.
One day.
We're very lucky.
Notice us, Drawfee Senpai.
I will never notice them. So let's see. I believe I mentioned that I watched a decent movie the other night.
Oh yes, you did.
Yeah. No, I had the privilege of watching Ready or Not, which I would actually recommend to several of my friends. Um, it is said, I think accurately, that movie and book antagonists, especially in works of horror, often reflect the fears and unrests of our time,
Mm-hmm.
which is why it is significant, perchance, that a lot of horror and horror adjacent works of the modern day feature wealthy antagonists.
Mm-hmm.
Ready or Not is no stranger to that. If you are at all familiar with Knives Out, I would describe it as Knives Out, but it's a slasher.
Nice.
Yes. And I will pretty much leave it there, because there is a lot to be potentially spoiled. But yes, no, fun was definitely had.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god, is the egg gonna be a giant eye?
Something like that.
Arnoki says, I've never seen Drawfee, but I am hype about several small and medium-sized art streams, and some of my heroes do actually like me back a little. It's kind of neat. Yeah. I mean, like, I have managed to make friends with several people that I, like, look up to.
Nice. That's admirable.
Yeah.
That's good.
And it's a cool
Glad you
thing.
have that.
I've also managed to meet and then run away screaming from any conversations with other people I look up to. So it's a work in progress.
Aren't we all?
I met the guy who made Pathfinder once, and I screamed and ran away. Partially because he was introduced to me by another, like, a friend who is also someone I look up to. I wasn't quite confident in my friendship with yet. And it's like, here's two people who are very cool and intimidating.
Yeah, mood.
Scary egg.
Scary egg. Our egg's not generally scary.
They are a tiny bit scary.
They are full of potential and moisture and guts. Something that they do not explain to you about things that hatch out of eggs, which I did not know until I had the pleasure of, like, watching my wife raise quails. There's a fair amount of blood involved in the hatching process.
Huh.
Hatching out of an egg is not a clean or pretty process.
That is surprising to me.
It is about as visceral as mammalian childbirth.
Interesting. I guess I shouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Kimmy says eggs are good. I agree.
I agree. Eggs are delicious. It's just, you don't think about how it looks to watch a thing hatch.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
beautiful, and at the same time, it's hella gross.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if you said gooey or, like, slimy and gross.
Those are things that apply, yeah.
I just didn't think blood, specifically.
Yeah, no, surprisingly, there is blood. And that is just a part of the process.
Mm-hmm.
What's the name of the skeleton sales boy? Every day is a sale. Emil.
Emil, yeah.
I'm going for a little bit of Emil energy here with the egg.
Every day's a sale. Every sale's a win.
That's the most thing I can remember about him.
Little T says, yeah, I may be scarring Alan with my
Oh,
quill.
I am unscarred. I have gone through many more scarring things in my life.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, it's exposed you to some things you didn't really think about with regards to birds.
Mm-hmm.
Chansey normally has little flappy arms. I'm curious, should I give this Chansey little flappy arms?
I mean, they've already got tentacles.
They do have tentacles. So they may not, necessarily need the flappy arms. Let me just kind of, like, scribble in some C here. Dark Souls has bodies of water, right?
Kimmy asks, how long until you can tell the sex of the quail?
We technically probably should be able to now. We're pretty sure that Linus is a lady and Caesar's a dude.
Bodies of water, yes.
Bodies of water are yes. No, I will add the little vestigial arm stumps. I think I could make it kind of upsetting. I had other things to talk about and I've forgotten half of them.
Same.
Oh, actually had a surprisingly good day at work the other day.
Ooh, nice.
There's a time when I probably wouldn't have talked about this on stream, but you know, at this point, if my family discovers this show, I'm screwed anyway. So, but yeah, so I came out to my bosses as they them non-binary, and I was not entirely sure how that would go because it seems like a pretty chill company, but like I've never been able at a job to just be that.
Yeah.
It went entirely better than expected.
Nice.
Because not only were they chill with it, but one of my bosses actually came out to us in that moment as also that, or as close to that. She's a she there, but like so that was like extra successful. Just have her kind of like.
Me too.
Yeah, no, I didn't say anything till now, but actually.
Me too.
Yep.
That's
so,
really
like,
cool.
Yeah, no, that was super cool. It felt very validating. I was a little bit giddy the rest of that day. It was just a good feel.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's cool.
That's what we need to make Chansey distressing. Just awful little baby hands.
Awful little baby hands. I can even picture her like raising them and going, eh.
Yeah, no, I mean Chansey is kind of baby-like.
Yeah.
Let's see. I guess I'll just add a few more tentacle lumps. I've still got like half an hour.
You do.
I guess I am getting faster at this.
I'm thinking perhaps maybe some color is in order.
Color. I wasn't gonna originally color this, but I guess I could.
Maybe shading.
You know, that's not a bad idea.
Arinoki also suggests do another.
I had an idea for a second one, but it feels too obvious.
Admiral's asking, will they get to put your pronouns on your name tag or no?
No, it's just a nice thing for my bosses to know so they can stop he-hemming me during meetings.
So here's the funny thing. Normally I'd be all for the idea of pronouns on name tags, but I think it's kind of horrible to require employees to wear name tags in the first place.
I agree.
I like the idea of like it being socially acceptable to wear gender pins.
Yeah. No, and actually my store does manufacture some.
Nice.
Yeah.
But like especially like that has to be employee decided.
Yes.
I don't like it was one of the most uncomfortable things at working at the bank, having my like full name on a name tag for anyone to look at.
Oof, I bet.
I mean, because especially like at the bank, you get fucking psychos who are like, "Oh, I'm gonna sue all of you individually," and then they like
you never
find
know
you on
that they
social
might
media.
not.
Yeah, and protesters who come in and take videos of everyone, and like all sorts of bullshit like that.
Sounds very high stress.
Yeah, that was actually a fun fact. Most of my T&D group, by happenstance, all started working at banks. Right.
This sounds like the beginning to a Ocean's 11 installment.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great idea. But yeah, shortly before I stopped, anyways, and so like every once in a while they vent stores. I'm like, oh fuck, I remember that, and like I'm reminded of like one particular guy who, like, would always walk around the neighborhood that my bank was in, and if he ever ran into me on the street, he'd like try and corner me and like pull my arm and ask me what his balance was, as if I could just look it up right there.
That's uncomfortable.
Yeah, it is, and it's one of those things you're just like expected to go through with it.
Like when you're off the clock, you're not at your job.
Mm-hmm.
More people need to understand this.
Kimmy had protesters at work once. I'm like, I'm curious as to how that that went with you. I don't want to like name drop your employer or anything,
Yeah,
but
very
like,
different situation there. Yeah.
yeah. And like, how much did it affect you personally? Like, because like at my branch, like one of the last times I visited my branch, after leaving there, like protesters had literally that day tried to rip off the door. Like, people go to branches and just throw shit protesting the bank, and I'm like, don't get me wrong, I'm all for protest and down with like corporate greed, but like, the branch isn't gonna. They don't care. Chase does not care that you have protested a branch. They got stopped in the lobby. Ah, yeah. I imagine they were trying to exert pressure on the big man.
The large boy.
Abnoodle dealt with a fight today.
Oh boy. How'd that go?
But yeah, all like protesting at a branch in particular does is make the people that work at the branch's lives hell, and stresses them out. It doesn't meaningfully interrupt business for Chase.
Yeah. No, that's really the takeaway here, is meaningfully interrupt the business.
Yeah.
Oh man. Remember, like, however many years ago, it was either like 2 or 8,000?
Mm-hmm.
When, like, some nerds on Twitter got the bright idea of let's protest Starbucks by patronizing Starbucks.
I don't
just
remember
couldn't
this.
really see what they were trying to do with it.
I don't remember this.
Good. You shouldn't. It was dumb.
Fantastic. Kimmy says, but it really only ended up stressing out the employees. Yeah, that's protests that only, stress out the working class is kind of like anti-protesting. It's not useful.
Oh man, I can't wait for our corporate overlords to start weaponizing that.
Admiral says, I'm fine, I didn't have to touch them, mostly just corral the crowd back to homeroom. It was wig pulling, no punches thrown. The last big fight had a kid knocked out in a bathroom. Glad it wasn't in my hall. Yeah.
It's distressing. A little bit.
Just the other day I was recounting some of the fights I lived through in high school.
That's some distressing wordage.
Was it?
Lived through?
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad you survived, but that implies there's a not insignificant chance you could have died.
Well, I mean, when you live a life like mine, full of broken organs.
That is true. Regrettably.
My favorite fight I ever witnessed in...
Oh, you have multiple.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I actually was in 2 fights in my childhood, myself.
So was I,
and
actually,
witnessed
come to think of it.
Several more.
I guess I shouldn't be surprised.
Fun fact, despite being scrawny as shit, I'm pretty sure I won every fight I was in. It was kind of unclear.
Yeah, no, the way I put it, I won both the fights I was in, but I did not feel good about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I also don't think you should, usually.
Yeah, I was a little rage monster, and I did feel good about it, and I feel very complicated about that.
Fair. Let it all out there, Andrew Wiggin.
Both of them were against people who were bullying me, so... Like,
oh, well.
Yeah.
Serves them right.
Let's see. Yeah, so my favorite fight I witnessed was... I wasn't in this one. I was just walking down the hallway, and this, 6'5" black football player and the 6'5" white football player were, poking at each other and yelling and not really saying anything I was able to, parse. But, yeah, they were arguing, it was getting heated up, and they started poking each other and yelling louder, and then they, finally, something snapped, and they turned to each other and just start going, It's really funny.
I could have seen what you were doing right then.
And just the stereotypical, noodle arms, slapping, face turned away. The most pathetic thing you can possibly imagine.
Fair. Gotcha.
And then one of them hit the ground, and the other started punching him, and that was less funny. But it started with sissy slapping, and that was funny.
Yeah, putting a little splash of color in this might have been the right choice.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, I got in 2 fights. One in elementary school against this kid who was an asshole, but I was like forced to hang out with because we were neighbors.
That's a big childhood mood.
Yeah, and that like didn't get interrupted or anything. I just think we mutually decided to stop, but I think I won. I think the other one was middle school was a rough time for me because I was in a private school and there were only like 30 of us, and I was weird. And so,
in your defense, I think middle school is a rough time for almost everyone.
Legit. This one kid who I had a loose alliance with, I'm not sure I could say was a friend. Like, we were on this like field trip, and he was hurling these like oh, what was that?
Sorry, just squirrel horde with an amazing line. Testosterone, the Waco, Texas tweet.
Oh my god. Shiny Zero says, "Yo, fuck middle school." Anyway, so one of the kids, like we had done this dodgeball thing where like we had socks full of flour and we're like throwing them at each other. It was supposed to be like a game, but after the game, like he had a whole bucket of them and he was just throwing them directly at my face, just randomly when I was trying to do stuff, and I got mad and turned around and punched him. Honestly, I look back and I think that's when people stopped fucking with me in middle school. So
sometimes that's what it takes in an environment like middle school. It's kind of like prison that way.
Mm-hmm. That was also probably very much in the time of like I hadn't been diagnosed with diabetes, but I still definitely had it. So my blood sugar was probably like 507.
So you just knew that you felt crummy.
Yeah,
like all the time.
Yeah, and it explains why I kind of blacked out probably.
Thank you, Ironoki. Knuckles, that's prison. Only if you let it be.
Mm-hmm.
I actually need to watch a proper episode of Sonic Boom one of these days. I hear the writing is better than it has any right to be for a Sonic show.
I've heard the same.
Speaking of which, that second movie's coming out soon, ain't it?
Yeah, middle school was really rough. And everyone seems to agree. Like, people talk about how high school is bad. No, high school was mostly fine for me.
Fine.
Like,
people left me alone in high school in a good way.
Yeah, it's not to say I didn't have, like, troubles in it, but, like...
Yeah, same.
I would say the majority of my troubles in high school were internal. Like, it was me dealing with things that happened that no one had any control over. Whereas in middle school, it was active, like, aggressors trying to fucking make me miserable.
Yeah. No, agreed.
Fun fact, I did not punch my biggest bully. He did keep, like, tormenting me after the one fight. But, I'm pretty sure he did end up getting expelled.
Well, then.
So apparently I didn't need to fight that fight.
Apparently not. It was fought for you. Uh-oh. Oh, there we go.
Sorry.
Oh. Hmm?
It's probably my computer realizing a phone just got connected to it.
Your phone experiencing separation anxiety.
Yeah. Shiny Zibit says, once I figured out how to keep my damn head down and mouth shut about halfway through junior year, it wasn't that bad, or it wasn't as easy as a target, as easy of a target, I guess. Yeah, I mean, like, I think I've talked about this, if not in some of my art. I probably have a punchline as death about this. In middle school, I identified as ace until, like, to those of you who don't know, I identified as ace until, like, late college. And because I didn't like girls, I got bullied because I was the guy who liked boys, which also wasn't true. And it was a Christian private middle school, so, like, that meant I was, like, a fucking monster. And not only did that like teach me some really really bad like ideas about like everyone's saying that I'm homosexual and that that's bad, so that means homosexuality is bad, and I'm not that. So it made me really homophobic for one. But this one moment happened where like this one kid like at the start of class before the teacher had walked in said, "Hey, you have a crush on this one girl, right?" Like really loud so everyone could hear, and I didn't, so I'm like and then he just like cuts me off and says, "Oh, you hesitated. Oh, you have a big crush on this girl," and then started chanting it and got everyone else in the classroom to start chanting it. And on one hand, that sucked, but people stopped bullying me for being gay after that, and I can't help but wonder if that was on purpose. In a weird, like, this is the best way a middle school kid knows how to, like, get this other kid to stop being tormented.
That does make a weird kind of middle school logic sense.
Yeah, like, it I look back on it, I'm like, definitely it was for the better for me, but, like, was that on purpose? I don't fucking know. I did know I didn't like that girl. She fucking sucked.
Yeah, but she's got a great personality. It's middle school. No one has a great personality.
I think I probably talked about this on stream too. I guess we're just talking about like childhood bullies and shit.
I guess now, yeah.
There's this one particular girl who bullied me in kindergarten and first grade. So like really early bully. And I didn't have the word for bully yet or like tormentor or any of the things I was going through. And so I was trying to use words I knew. One of them was rival from Pokemon. I was trying to describe who this girl was, and like she's my rival, and my because I was thinking about Blue from Pokemon, who was an absolute piece of shit, and my parents like when I said that just started making fun of me for it. And
this is my grandson. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, but it was really frustrating because then they started being all like, "Oh, you just have a crush on her," blah blah, that whole thing.
I hate that logic.
Yeah, and
I hated it then. I hate it now.
And then just like they like it was kind of a like thing that niggled at me for a long time was them like making fun of me for using the term rival there. I'm like, I didn't know the word I needed yet. I was a fucking child.
Oh, but here's the thing. You gotta use your trauma as a source of comedy because we're shitty adults in the 90s.
Ariel says, Twitch, the new Steak and Shake magic backstory time.
That's probably some context I'm not getting.
Yeah, probably not. I've told you about Traumatic Backstory Night.
Yes, in fact, I have participated in Traumatic Backstory
You
Night.
have indeed. Back in Evansville, those were almost exclusively in Steak and Shakes, and still Steak and Shake closed down, and then it was in a Denny's.
I've never been to a Steak and Shake, but I should like to at some point. They sound good.
I was really disappointed at the one they had in Seattle because it had a half menu, which included none of the things I wanted.
Oh, that is rough.
And I don't even know if that's still open.
Oh, true. Pandemic and all.
Pandemic.
Forgot about that.
If it even made it that far. Because like all the Steak and Shakes in Evansville closed down.
I think Steak and Shake is still around. That's terrible and I'm going to redo it.
Ironoki says, this person of the heteronormative pairing gender is super toxic and shitty to me. Oh yes, that's standard attraction.
Don't you know attraction is pain?
School Horde says tragic backstory night starting off in Steak and Shake and ending in Denny's is by far the most appropriate tragic backstory.
You know, not wrong.
You know, I've actually had a decent date in a Denny's before.
Oh.
Mainly because it was
How many tentacles did she have?
Hard to tell. It was like 4 a.m. and very impromptu.
This tracks.
The number of times I've found myself stranded in Everett needing a ride, and the ride happening from a cute girl is more than one, and that's like weird. Ariel says, Kyle, we found the spice they use for Steak and Shake fries if you ever want it. Maybe. Stephen King as fuck. You might have to just the idea of starting in a Steak and Shake and ending in a Denny's.
Kind of is, yeah. From what little Stephen King I've read.
You know, I actually haven't read any Stephen King. He's
controversial statement. I think he's kind of overrated.
I don't think that's controversial.
Okay.
I
know a lot of people that will defend him like very strongly.
I will defend The Hustle. He's very successful primarily because he writes a fuck ton.
Yes.
And I respect that.
Yeah.
I try and be like...
But yeah, is he an objectively strong writer? He has neat ideas.
Yeah, I mean, not me to say I haven't read any.
There's a reason they keep trying to adapt his work to film is because he has a lot of neat ideas. It's just he's not always great at putting those ideas into the form of a coherent story.
Shiny Zubat says, I like Stephen King a lot. Not everything he writes is amazing, but I really, really enjoyed a lot of his books.
Legit.
It's one of those that, like, I'd probably like to read a Stephen King book at some point just because, like, as a contemporary writer, there's a certain level of research that must be done by reading, the previous generation of contemporary writers.
Absolutely. And Squirrel Horde makes a good point there. Like, is he overrated? Yeah. Did he work hard to ensure he was overrated? Also, yeah. And I hadn't thought about that before. Yeah, no, I guess there is, like, something to be said about, like, attaining enough of a level of success that you can be considered overrated.
I as much as I can, try and avoid pointless negativity when it comes to things I don't like.
Same.
I have a very inherently hipster mentality. I like underground shit that no one's heard of. I have the joke that, like, if your band has been heard by more than 200 people, I don't know who they are. Like, that's not... Obviously, that's not true. I like popular shit just like everyone else does. I mean, like, of pretty much everyone I stream with, I'm the only one who actually likes the MCU, I think.
There's a couple good movies in there.
There's a certain, like... I've started to respect what it takes to work in the industry, whether or not you're backed by a big publisher or not. Okay, Ironoki says, I like the MCU. Okay, that's fair. I feel like I only hear everyone's critical takes on it, but maybe that's just me. At any rate, like, a big one was a twist with 50 Shades of Grey. Yes, it's problematic. Yeah, it's not well written. She made a book, and the book sold, and people liked it. And you know what? I respect that.
Yeah.
There's nothing to be gained by being like, oh, this isn't a good book, because it has a right to exist. Someone
Half
wrote
of
it.
those were words.
Yeah. Someone put in the work to make it happen, and enough people liked it that it made money.
Yeah, and Shiny Zabats also makes a good point. It's one of their favorite things about Stephen King. They can just grab a random book of theirs in an airport. 85% of the time, they have fun reading it.
Nice.
Like, yes, 50 Shades of Grey is part of the MCU. Don't you know that Christian Grey is secretly Batman? Yeah, no, like that is solid. Like, yeah, no, I'm not dunking on, like, Stephen King readers. I just, like, on an academic level, it's okay.
Yeah, there's a difference between being critical and being, I'm trying to think of the word. I want to say negative, but that doesn't quite feel right. That's too broad.
Yeah.
It's like Star Wars. I love Star Wars, and I will absolutely critique the shit out of the last few movies.
Out of the wars and them stars?
Yeah. And guess what? I still love them. I still love the shitty ones.
Oh, fair.
I had a lot of fun watching Rise of Skywalker. Wow, it was a bad movie.
Ooh. That was a fun one because, like, I still vividly remember See and Die, like, after Rise of Skywalker, sitting in a, like, Katanda coffee, going over the movie, and slowly realizing, like, wait, was that a bad movie that we just saw? That movie was terrible, actually.
it was
It's
kind
like letting it slowly dawn on us because we didn't want it to be true.
It was kind of a little bit the same with me and Loopy Fritz. Except, like, I am usually more critical at everything than Loopy Fritz is. Like, I might be spouting the font of positivity, but I have my share of negativity that I have to actively try and turn off and curb. Loopy Fritz is generally more content to like stuff that isn't as good as my taste makes happen. Wow, this is just... I'm trying to not sound...
That was a sentence.
I'm trying to not sound like an elitist piece of shit, because that's not what I mean to be. But point is, it's normally me being like, oh, that wasn't so good, and like these things were wrong with it, and Loopy Fritz being like, I thought it was fine. But Rise of Skywalker was absolutely the other way around. And at one point, like, Loopy Fritz was like, so you liked Rise of Skywalker, huh? Yeah, I had a good time. What was it about? And the whole movie falls apart instantly, and I'm like, see, you're right. But lightsabers go whoosh, though.
I'm reminded of that, like, street interview someone did at one point, right when it was, like, just starting to be, like, kind of trendy again, to be like, oh, Phantom Menace was bad. Phantom Menace was okay, actually, by the way. But, like, a very good point where someone was like, okay, so, like, who's your favorite character from Phantom Menace? And some people were like, Qui-Gon. Cool. Name 3 things about him.
He's a gray Jedi. He was an outlier, and this is cheating because I have a a fuck ton of
name
expanded
3 things about him, like, from the movie, and like they would understandably be like, and the movie, some of the movie structurally kind of falls apart because you realize, like, yeah, the characters in that don't have a lot of character.
I mean, like, I'm very on record saying that I love the Star Wars world, but not, like, the movies aren't the best. Describe a character from a Star Wars movie without mentioning what they look like.
Well, let's see. Junk dealer, Jewish caricature.
Oh, no.
Mind tricks don't work on him.
Only money.
Watto. It's funny, like, I think I've mentioned this on Babas before, but, like, when someone was bringing that up, I remember back in the day, I was like, no, that can't possibly be, no.
Like,
and then in the second movie, they put a yarmulke on him. I'm like, damn it, George.
Yeah. Shiny Zubat says, I also really like shitty movies, so, like, Star Wars...
You win either way. If it's a good movie, hey, you get a good movie. If it's a terrible movie, yeah, you're still entertained.
I like the aesthetic of the Star Wars universe, and I want to see more stories told in it, and so I'll like even bad stories told in it, because there are new stories told in it.
Fair.
I think it is diverse enough that even... Like, Star Wars is at its worst when it treads over the same topics. But, like... Keep that! That's fucking great! I hate it! What did you do?
Erase my line layer? Okay, I want to try something, though. Wow, yeah, holy shit.
Yeah, somehow that was perfect.
Oh, that was wretched. Here, if I just, like... take it away a lot without completely eliminating it.
I legit, I know you worked really hard on that line work, but I think this is a
right.
good delete your art
You're
moment.
Right. That wins.
Yep.
That wins. Yep. Okay then. That's the. Oh, it took away the health bar though.
Yeah, but you can.
Here, I can fix that.
Yeah.
Watch my magic.
Yo, that's cursed as fuck. Love it. Yeah, it's
There we go, and then we boop. There we go. Mother of orbs.
Want to pass off?
Yup.
Yeah, I think that made this done.
I think, man, it is rare that I've had so firmly a time. It's just like, yup, nope, this piece done. Firmly done.
Yeah. Oh, that's. I'm just looking at this closer.
Horrible.
Look at this wretched thing.
Look at that wretched thing.
Ceaseless watcher, turn your gaze from this wretched thing. Okay, you okay there, buddy?
While swallowing.
Okay. Oh, fuck. I didn't make a decision in
if
this
it helps, I can give you the other one I was thinking of.
I'm not saying I'm going to do it, but please tell me what you had in mind.
So, I was going to possibly do Cubone and call it, what was it? Orphan of Ghosts or something like that?
Orphan of Ghosts, that's pretty good. It does remind me of the Orphan of Kos, though.
Is that a Dark Souls boss?
It's a Bloodborne boss, but same thing.
Fair enough. What if Dark Souls, but more Lovecraft?
You know, there's one thing that has been popping in my head this whole time.
Yeah?
And I think I'm gonna go for it.
Do it. I'm gonna try to remember any of the things I was gonna talk about today. Oh wait, I think I've actually gone through a fair number of them. Well, regardless. Ooh, that's an interesting possibility.
Yeah, I've got an idea.
I did always like its cute little face.
Kos, or some say Cosm, says Iron Oakie. Indeed.
Ah. Mother of Orbs.
Mother of Orbs. So yeah,
Nice.
you'll probably you might already from this be able to tell what Pokemon I'm going for, but so I knew that if doing cute Pokemon as Dark Souls bosses always goes the one route with the Dark Souls boss, which is big scary monster. But there's another vein of Dark Souls boss, which is dude in armor. Usually kind of horribly like crippled and or like disformed dude in armor, but still.
Or at the very least, like, dude whose proportions are just off enough that you know they're not human.
I forget this character's name. Bell Guy. What was Bell Guy's name? No, that's not it. Fuck. No. Shit.
Onion Knight?
No. Fendrick Bodyguard. What's his name? Velstadt.
Velstadt the
Yeah.
Royal Aegis.
He was. I'm just pulling up reference.
Gotcha.
Velstadt was cool.
Oh, yeah, no, I can see it. And yeah, no, what I was talking about with, like, there are proportions that aren't quite human. Like, you look at it just a little bit, and you're like, those arms are slightly too long.
Squirrelhead says Bell's Guy name is Quasimodo. You sure that's incorrect?
Oh, man. But, you know, if you were going to adapt Victor Hugo's work, Dark Souls already kind of has the aesthetic and mood down.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Like, when someone told me that Victor Hugo had crippling depression most of his life, I was like, you know, that makes a lot of sense. Given just how depressing most of his work is, that makes a lot of sense. Hey, what's the ending to Hunchback of Notre Dame? Everyone dies. The end. Well, okay, Quasimodo doesn't die, but at the end of the book, he's in the process of dying. Esmeralda dies. Phoebus dies. Judge Frollo dies. The only one that Disney kept.
I too have many characters die in my work.
Oh, does this include this light?
I mean, yeah, I do kind of just fridge Esther. I talk about this.
You do talk about that. I meant that we don't know of yet.
Not to confirm or deny anything, but I was talking. It might have been on the stream, or it might have been on another one, where I was talking about how Peter is the character in Of This Light I have the hardest time writing. Like I know the broad strokes of his story, but getting the details right has always been tricky. And it got implied that like, oh, maybe I'll just kill Peter off because I don't know what to do with him.
Oh.
And Chinese Ubats is like, I never thought I'd have to worry about Kyle killing off my favorite characters. I'm like, wait, Peter's your favorite character?
Oh man, I think I've brought this up before, but that was literally a Tolkien and C.S. Lewis conversation. I think I've spoken before about how J.R.R. Tolkien and C.S. Lewis were like best buddies and were working on their major works at the same time.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
even had a pub that they lived near that they would meet in. Like, a few times a week to discuss how their stories were going.
Mm-hmm.
And Tolkien had the same thing with Legolas, where like he couldn't figure out what to do with him, so he kept trying to kill him off. He just had no idea what to do with him. And Lewis was like, no, keep the elf. I like the elf. He was like, fine, I'll do it for you. And kept keeping him. And then eventually it developed like the whole like Legolas Gimli friendship arc, and he's like, actually, I really like that, so I'm glad I kept him around.
Yeah.
So sometimes like you just don't know what a character's there for until they eventually tell you.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh, that's why I had that character there. All right.
Yeah. And like I said, I know Peter's greater arc and his place in the story. It's
Okay.
just the details that become the problem.
Gotcha.
Getting him from point A to B, and then making him interesting from those points, like, is my challenge with Peter.
Gotcha.
Like, I could write Gabriel all damn day. But
I think you've also said you have a lot of fun writing Road.
yeah. Road is kind of my favorite character in OTL, which kind of sucks that she doesn't exist for the. Well, I mean, she's in some flashbacks, but she's not really in chapters 1 through 3, and that's why I've been so hyped for 4. Like,
now I can introduce my favorite character.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I feel it.
But yeah, Peter is my favorite to draw, but least favorite to write. Squirrel Horde also likes Peter.
That is something that has been nice about Jumblewood, is I have been deliberately trying to design my characters so that they're all fun to draw.
Mm-hmm.
Which has been coming in really handy in this sort of eventual page header that I've been making.
Yeah.
This big chase sequence. It's been fun doing all the all the characterization through just how different their runs are.
Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to think of who's the least favorite. My least favorite to draw is actually Cersei, and it's not. It's because she is a challenge I haven't quite figured out yet.
What's that?
I know what she looks like in my head.
But you just are having trouble translating that to the page.
Yeah,
so the Cersei we've seen just doesn't quite look like you imagine her.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
every once in a while, there will be a panel where I get it right, but she's the hardest to get consistently right.
I'd like to go through that with you at one point and see if I can lend some advice.
I've definitely I'm kind of looking forward to 4 because I think 4 is probably going to be the one where I finally pull it off.
Gotcha.
Costume changes and everything, and I've put a lot of work into pre-drawing for 4. But also yes, let's do that.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like it just my skills aren't quite able to get what I want her to look like in my head.
Speaking of our works, I've been catching up on a lot of webcomics lately.
Ooh.
Which has been nice. It's been nice to get back into webcomics. I kind of took an inadvertent, unintentional break from webcomics in general for about 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's been nice to dig back into that. Caught back up with Girl Genius. Found out that Weapon Brown got a side story, read through all that. Caught up with Scoob and Shag.
I've heard of Scoob and Shag.
Oh, Scoob and Shag is fun. Hey, what if JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but with cartoon characters, mostly older ones? Yes, the titular Shag and Scoob are Shaggy and Scooby from Scooby-Doo, why do you ask?
Skirting right around some copyright issues.
Yeah, no, they actually at one point in the story there's a time skip that exists largely so that the artist can justify changing up the character designs more so that they are less likely to get copyright struck.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they hit a good note with them where you can still tell who everyone's supposed to be, but the design is different enough that they're probably not gonna get in trouble. Especially with the shortening of the names, which all the names they just shorten.
Mm-hmm.
Like Scoob, Shag, Yog.
Squirrel Heart says, I just realized something. The new Friday time slot means we get an April Fool's Day Babas.
Oh, we're gonna have to do something for that.
Not only that, at current scheduling, just making sure I'm still right on this one. Yeah, the season finale of Anachronistic's gonna hit on April Fool's Day, and I'm not quite sure about what I feel about that yet.
You might want to put it out a day early.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I haven't decided yet.
Okay. It is up to you.
It was originally supposed to end on Valentine's Day, but there were a couple of breaks.
Yeah, but there were complications.
Yeah.
What was our goal, sir? Oh yeah, no. Instead of stands, everyone in Shag and Scoob has ballyhoos, which are all named instead of for musical artists are all named for television or animation terms.
I see.
For example, Pops, who is Popeye, has frame by frame, which basically just lets him perceive time slower.
Oh my god.
I believe Shag has jump cut, which lets him slice things with his mind.
I would have thought his was Ultra Instinct.
They do reference that at one point.
Oh my god.
I think my favorite though is Kermit the Frog, who has product placement, which just means he can summon vending machines at will. Which feels like a very like JoJo stand power just because of how specific it is.
Yeah.
My stand lets me summon a vending machine anywhere, any place. And, you know, to his credit, he has used it very effectively. He just throws one up as a shield, he's dropped one on top of someone. But yeah, that's, let's see, what else? There was one more. Awful Hospital. I've been catching back up on Awful Hospital. My good friend, Jonathan, better known as Bogleach, big shout out to Bogleach, has a webcomic called Awful Hospital. If you're not at all squeamish about, like, medical theming, I would strongly recommend you check it out. It's definitely not for everyone. It definitely has kind of like a 90s gross out cartoon visual aesthetic to it. But if you are cool with that, there's a lot to like there. There's some very clever lore, some very interesting storytelling, and a lot of good laughs and action. And I am finally all caught up with that. Yeah, no, I guess I'm just going to plug Awful Hospital a little bit now.
No, that's legit.
Long story short, a mother who is our protagonist, Fern, wakes up in a hospital, or more precisely, the hospital, a location / dimension / it's actually really complicated, that is the base, concept of a hospital. Like, all ideas of hospitals and what they are stem from this location. Mm-hmm. She is there because her son is very sick. Mm-hmm. Her son is sick with basically a form of reality cancer. Mm-hmm. So that kind of kicks off the plot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Inoki says that happened in Magnus Archives and it was awful. Squirrel Horde says, honestly, anachronistic intending to end on Valentine's Day and instead ending on April Fool's feels cosmically appropriate. Like something Neil would notice and have an exasperated sigh laugh at. Yeah, shit, you're not wrong.
Yeah. Okay, actually, you know what? Yeah, release it on Valentine's Day. We can have that, Bobbus, be a little bit of a launch party.
You mean on April Fool's Day?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Did I say Valentine's Day?
You said Valentine's Day.
Yeah, same thing.
I might, like, so, like, one of the reasons I don't want to, I want to change subject to avoid spoilers.
Okay. Il Principe.
No, Principe. Crab friend good.
Crab friend good. Kirby's coming out next month.
Ironoki says, King Newbridge, I drew a Pokemon Dark Souls boss. Can I send it? Should I post a link or Discord? Yes.
Yes, I want to see it.
Post a link in chat, please, and I'll see if I can get it pulled up.
Kodogan has redeemed Address Il Principe.
Oh, it's a good thing. I have Il Principe right here.
Hail the crab!
Pull this out. Let's see if I can. Oh, I see. I see what you did here.
Oh, Snorlax and a different one as like those two dudes that are like Laurel and Hardy but deadly.
Yeah, it's Ornfetched and Snorg. Let me see if I can get this.
Yeah, what are they normally like? Ornfred and
Ornstein and Smog.
Smog.
Or Smoth. Some people pronounce it Smoth. It never gets said. Image, just top right, up, right. Does it work? Yeah, it's working. Look at these boys. I love them. They are arguably the toughest challenge in Dark Souls 1 because like
Principe has fallen.
I would say they might not necessarily be the most mechanically difficult, or that they are very mechanically difficult. It's just after you beat them, like you are veteran enough at the game that like you know how to handle pretty much everything else that gets thrown at you. And in one, that is.
Gotcha. Orville and Redenbacher. Yes.
Orville and Redenbacher.
Yeah, no, fair. And, I think they've got pretty iconic designs. Like, I think there's a reason why they get remembered by a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, heck, I know very little about Dark Souls, and I'm dimly aware of them.
Mm-hmm. They're a really cool boss fight, too. There's something about, like, the way the fight goes. It's, so whenever you have a, like, pair-up boss fight, there's usually a couple of things that can happen.
Hello, Tia.
Oh, hey, Tia. Glad you could make it.
You're not late to the party. You're fashionably late.
You're right on time.
You're right on time. Wizards arrive precisely when they mean to, Tia.
So, like, a common thing that happens when you got, like, partner bosses is, like, an enraged mode where, like, okay, like, once you kill one, the other one gets super strong. And so it's usually a good idea to whittle them both down at the same time. Ornstein and Smoke kind of takes that on its head, and yes, one of them gets super strong, but completely heals his bar too. So you really want to focus one. And how it handles which one you beat first is really cool and shows a lot of personality to them. If you kill Smoke first, Ornstein like takes a moment to like kind of respectfully like almost give him a bit of a prayer and then absorb his power, whereas Smoke just fucking slams his hammer down and finishes him off and steals the rest of his power.
Oh, wow. So that was not a mutual friendship there.
Yep. It very much shows that, like, they did not like each other, but Ornstein was respectful and Smoke was not. Ironoki says, actually, I say it was. I think they were friends. Huh.
Okay.
I am interested in your explanation, because I saw them as, like, rivals, where Ornstein was just more professional than Smoke was. Yeah, no, Elden Ring came out either today or yesterday, I think. Ooh, you have a clip of your explanation. Feel free to share it.
Please share this clip.
What can I do to make this armor shellier?
Yes, more shellular. And yeah, no, I was surprised too. See, apparently Elden Ring came out today.
I think it came out yesterday, actually. I thought it came out today, but I was wrong.
I think it was one of those midnight things. So it kind of came out in the gap in the crossover between yesterday and today.
I saw some people streaming it last night, which is why I...
Yeah, no, I think some people either in different time zones or had just gotten like review copies of it and were technically skirting the lines of
embargo
of NDAs.
Do it, Gecko. Gain my powers. I cannot watch it while streaming. However, that is Arinoki's explanation.
Yes. Ooh, that's a good grip fist. I need to keep that in mind.
Thank you.
For when next I draw a grip fist.
I am getting all right at drawing hands, but only because it has been the hardest thing for me to draw for years and years and years and years.
Grip fist sounds like a transformer.
Grip fist. Starscream, you and Grip Fist will go destroy the Autobots.
Right? No, it just fits. Like, okay, I say this as someone who, like, had several Transformers growing up, but, like, never really cared about the lore. But, like, does like Transformers as a concept. Like, it's a cool toy. It's a robot that turns into things that aren't a robot.
Yeah, pretty much.
But, like, why do Transformers all have those names? And they aren't even code names. Like, those are just their actual names. Like, what kind of naming rituals do they have on Cybertron where they're just like, yes, you will be named Ball Crusher or whatever?
I mean, like,
actually there is one named Bone Crusher, so there we go. Wait, Why would it be named Bone Crusher? They don't have bones. They're sapient robots. How would they have known about bones?
Don't
Was he
worry
named
about it.
after they discovered other species with bones? Bones that are apparently crunchy?
Alan, I'm gonna need you to get all the way off my ass about this.
Oh, see, that's a good point. Maybe that's just the closest the names translate.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I just realized it's extremely hypocritical of me to go off about that when I have a possum family with an entire naming tradition of dangerous sounding middle names. I mean, goodness sakes, my protagonist's dad's name is Hezekiah Hazardous Possum.
Maybe those are names they took for use with other species humans. That's another thing.
And I'm just like, what's the possum clan name I'm most proud of? I'm gonna look back at that family tree real quick. Because I just linked it to a friend earlier today.
You should have a possum named Posthumous Possum.
Posthumous Possum?
Yes.
Postlethwaite Possum? I think I'm proudest of Frederick Fistfight Possum. Possum Humboldt, technically. Merged last name. Alas, Frederick will not show up. He is Babby.
Oh no. Oh, that's the other way. No, that's too light, too happy.
We can't have light. This is Dark Souls.
It's Dark Souls.
The souls must be dark.
Damn it.
Oh no, the gaps, they aren't filled.
How do I live my life like this?
I mean, easier than me.
There we go.
I just fill things in all scribbly like a chump. Sometimes I'll use the fill bucket. I do need to learn faster coloring techniques sometime. So I'm going to try to predict what kind of course you'll take with the eyes.
Okay.
I'm probably wrong. But something tells me you're going to kind of go like Jawa on this.
It was a thought.
Although I could see it working just leaving it blank like that. That feels very Dark Soulsy.
Yeah, I haven't quite decided yet.
Fair. Or the other thing I thought of was you could really emphasize the tongue and just have like a horrible long appendage snaking out of there.
Yeah, the tongue is something that I've been like, do I include the tongue? It's such an iconic thing of Shelder, but it really kind of...
This is Shelder, by the way.
Yeah, this is Shelder. I mean, I think if you know Pokemon, you could have told it was Shelder once I got
that shell is a very distinct shape. Because, yeah, I mean, it was either going to be this or, why can't I remember the name of the one that's shaped like genitalia?
Cloyster?
Cloyster, thank you.
But Cloyster isn't cute by our definition earlier.
That is true. Cloyster has that thing where he looks more aggressive than cute.
Nope, I forgot to fill in his shell mace thing.
Here, child, have a clam with a tongue. Whatever region they give out Shelter as a starter Pokemon.
Here, kid, have this sad dinosaur with a skull.
Oh boy. Oh. Yeah, no. Really pity the region and giving out Cubones. Here, have this little, like, bear? I don't know, with a skull. Why is it crying? Misses its mom.
Where does mom go? He's wearing it.
Oh. Maybe I should remove that from him. It's probably distressing him. He's not gonna let you.
He will actively kill you if you try.
That was something I think Detective Pikachu actually like sold really well. Was that like opening bit where he's trying to catch a Cubone.
Mm-hmm.
Really sells how even like the tiny little guys are like, no, they'll mess you up.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are reasons people are scared of these things.
That was one of the things I really liked about Arceus too.
Hmm.
It really leaned into that. Like, no, people are afraid of Pokemon because they're fucking psychopathic magic animals that don't make sense.
Yep.
Why does this thing shoot electricity? It kind of freaks me out.
Yeah, no, if anything, people in the modern day of those games are just kind of desensitized to it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, no, it's a walking semi-sentient flamethrower, whatever.
Ooh, make the tongue a scarf.
Oh, not a bad idea, but, like, kind of keep it slimy.
Maybe.
C says, no one in Dark Souls has eyes. They only have sockets.
Mm-hmm.
This is true, because, like, all the eyes went over to Bloodborne. And everyone just has too many eyes there.
Too many eyes in Bloodborne.
That's how you tell them apart. Dark Souls, not enough eyes. Bloodborne, too many eyes.
Not quite. Not quite ready. I want to get this.
I feel like if you tried to get in melee range with this guy, the tongue would happen. It would just be a bad time. However, in both, the women rarely wear shoes.
I've never
Do
noticed
people
that.
own shoes in Dark Souls? It just seems like a thing people would have forgotten about. Oh, I just realized what you did with the chest. Very clever with the clamshell design.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You've really nailed them looking like some kind of nobility.
Yes, the
clamular noble.
the clamular noble. Okay, I've got an idea, sort of.
Okay.
Well, first off, this needs to be darker. This is too happy of a black.
This isn't Light Souls.
Yeah, other way around.
That would be a fun game, though. Dance party minigame with the Dancer of the Boreal Valley.
The Boreal Valley is a cool place. Dark Souls. Why is this not working?
I hear Elden Ring has as many as 5 poison swamps. Because the designer just cannot help himself.
I mean, I for one like the poison swamp areas. I see why other people don't like them, but
Fair enough.
I like them.
I mean, eventually we'll get a game from him that just takes place entirely in a poison swamp.
He loves designing poison swamps.
He does, and that's okay. He loves designing poison swamps the same way, like, the dude who designed Bayonetta likes exactly that.
Likes exactly Bayonetta.
He likes exactly Bayonetta. What's your type? This character. Hey, why does she wear glasses if she could just magic her eyes better? Because I think glasses are hot.
Not only that, Bayonetta thinks glasses are hot.
Yup. Going with some, like, kind of fog there?
Yeah.
Interesting. Ooh. Yeah, no, that lends him a nice air of mystery. You will never know what his legs look like.
Because I refuse to draw them. Here's a fun tip if you ever have to draw a foggy landscape in a comic that you make.
Fair.
Just layer the fog behind itself.
That is surprisingly effective, yeah.
I may or may not have had to do this to save time.
I'm actually genuinely impressed. Irenoki drew a comic about a small punch woman. And you know, one of these days I will probably draw a comic about a large punch woman. You know,
I'm not digging
I
that.
think he looked more threatening without the eyes.
I agree. Yeah, I was thinking the same.
C chimes in, about 5 to 10 pixels of motion blur can also be really nice on fog layers. I will take that to heart. Yeah, no, I think I like yours better today.
I am actually really proud of this one.
Yeah, no, that's some good stuff.
It's funny, like, I'm just desaturating it
And you
just a
also
little.
have half an hour left.
Yep.
Help, we're getting too fast.
We're
But
too
you know, that was
powerful.
one of the things I wanted going into Babas, was to get faster at drawing.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like my wish is being granted, actually.
It is definitely a benefit of the thing that we do.
Thank you for inviting me onto this.
Of course. You were the right choice.
Aw, thank you. Here's my 2 weeks notice. No, I'm kidding. I would not do that to you. Well, okay. I would give you at least 2 weeks notice, but I'm not doing that. Okay.
I'm like, I mean, please do if you need to, but also, wow, heartless.
I am heartless. Squirrel Horde wants to know what happens if we remove the line work from this one.
That's not possible.
Okay.
I'm sorry. My layers are not set up in such a way anymore that I can remove the line work.
That is okay.
Yeah.
I think it's funny that we both picked Gen 1 Pokemon this time go around as well.
Gen 1 Pokemon are the cutest, objectively.
You know? Yeah, actually. I mean, I don't know a lot of gens very well, especially like kind of the middle ones. But like, yeah, I'm trying to think of Pokemon from later gens that are really cute, and yeah, there aren't many. They definitely kind of like, they kind of leaned into like the Digimon rivalry thing for a while, and I think that led to kind of an arms race where like, no, we have to make Pokemon look badass.
I'm not even sure it was a rivalry. Like, I'd be more like, I would not be surprised to see if like Pokemon ended up poaching some of the monster designers from Digimon.
Quite possible, actually, yeah, because there is, especially like kind of middle gen Pokemon designs, a lot of similarities with what was going on in Digimon at that time, from what I've seen.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I like the darker colors, but I'm trying to. There's something not quite right yet.
I think you could probably texture the like capelet a little bit.
Yeah.
Add some swoops in there.
I do have half an hour.
You do have half an whoa.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, and then he's crushed by the sun.
Yeah.
Praise the sun. Oh.
I wasn't gonna keep the red, but like that looks really threatening.
Does actually. Wow. Garden Pearl's gonna mess you up. Am I a high enough level for this boss?
Probably not. Usually not.
Fair. That is kind of how those games operate. Every battle's a struggle. Every struggle's a win.
What is the Guardian of the Pearls
Of the galaxy?
what is the Guardian of the Pearls lore?
Well, guard the pearl.
You need the pearl to.
You need the pearl for reasons.
Yeah.
An old lady told you she wanted it. She seems important.
She laughed after every sentence.
Every sentence. And her final sentence, she laughed for like 3 minutes straight.
And it wasn't like
it was not skippable.
It was not a giggle. It was a. Bring the pearl to me and link the frame. Like that.
Yeah, no, just like that. You're not sure if she actually like can do a magic with it, or if she's just kind of crazy, but like she's the only lead you have at the moment.
Yep. And you know that like one way or another the like cutscene like she'll bring some kind of resolution to the story.
Yes.
You're not sure if it will be good for you or not.
Meanwhile, I feel like the Mother of Orbs is a boss fight that just kind of happens.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're just kind of strolling along by that cliff by the sea, and then suddenly it just pops up and the bar happens, and you're like, hope you're ready for this.
Mm-hmm. Old lady be like, oh my gosh, these suckers are gonna wreck the world for a rupee.
Yeah, no, I feel like if I lived in a setting as bleak as Dark Souls, like, it would be kind of tempting to just kind of, like, prank people in ways that hasten the end of the world anyway.
Okay, trusty Patches.
Trusty Patches?
There's a character that pretty much actually does that.
Also, someone, like, made an observation the other day, like, very matter-of-factly, that I'd never considered, but they were definitely right.
What is that?
Which is that, Dark Souls is, in spirit, the Berserk game.
Oh, yeah. No, it not even.
And, like, yeah, the moment they said that, I'm like, huh.
No,
it very much is in spirit.
Yeah, no, the lead designer is a huge Berserk, like, fan. It's, like, a lot of the art is just lifted from Berserk. Partially because copyright laws in Japan are not the same as...
No, they are not.
Yep. Yep. Boy, it is. Ironoki and I have always known that.
I hadn't, but someone pointed out, like I said, very matter-of-factly, I was just like... I paused for a second. I was like, it is.
Oh, yeah. Shiny Zubat says, Cheer, is that the guy that pushed us off the cliff last time? Yes, Trusty Patches did push you off a cliff. He does it in every game. He even does it in Bloodborne. And he's a spider in Bloodborne.
Oh my gosh. That reminds me, have you seen Bloodborne PSX?
When it's, like, made to look shitty and, like, on a.
Sort of, yeah. No, it's a proper like demake someone did, where they like took the hardware specs of a PlayStation and tried to remake Bloodborne if it had come out on the era of the original PlayStation.
Nice.
Yeah, they nailed it visually. It's not very long because they can only fit so much. It would have absolutely been a multi-disc game.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they've got pretty much all of Yharnam in there. So, ooh, that
Okay.
looks a little more
Yeah,
threatening.
that's a lot better than the Red Eyes were.
Yeah.
I am now attempting to figure out what the fuck I want to do with the tongue.
I don't like that guy. He's a duck.
He's a dick.
Okay, like, just me, but like every time you get a new phone, which granted I've had 3 phones in my life ever. 4?
Impressive.
3 I think. One for every decade. But yeah, no, whenever there's a new phone and like it starts off not knowing swears and you effectively have to teach it swears. Do you kind of feel like you're teaching a small electronic child how to swear? Because I kind of feel that way.
I always turn off autocorrect, and
Yeah.
it still activates sometimes, but it activates less for me than most people.
You have to just gently tell your phone over the course of like your first like 20 texts, like, no, I didn't mean duck. There was an F in there. I intend to keep it.
Are you at all familiar with Dark Souls mimics, Alan?
I am now, and that's a glorious design.
Oh yeah, no, Dark Souls mimics are the best.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
They are horrible.
Very licky boys.
I particularly like, I think it's in 3, they are much more spider-like. They like... I'm trying to find a good... Oh yeah, there we go.
Oh, thanks. I hate it.
Yeah, no, it's awful.
It's very Silent Hill.
Yeah. RE mimics. I just want to die. They do, if you fall for a mimic, they do stun lock you for like a whole like 30 seconds.
I will watch that one when I can, Ironoki. Tongue tickles. I'm gonna borrow that phrase. Don't ask for what.
Well, now I'm curious.
Conversations with friends.
Yeah.
I know.
Lasso.
Lasso to
Whoops. This isn't working the way I expected it to.
Oh no.
There we go.
Shiny Zubats misses your bisected tongue.
Oh. I am gonna keep the one tongue, unfortunately, but I'll see what I can do about making it still
The
hella
one
creepy.
tongue to rule them all.
One tongue to rule them all, one tongue to find them.
Oh no. Maybe that's how you get drawn into this encounter. A tongue just kind of shoots out through the darkness and drags you into its boss arena.
Same. I don't know what saying same there was supposed to.
I was about to ask.
I too have been dragged into many boss arenas from someone's tongue.
Oh my.
Welcome to Bats and Bones. We're kink friendly.
What was the channel that we dubbed King Friendly last stream? Because that was a great little running gag.
I don't remember.
Oh, well.
If you mean last stream, the one that lasted for 4 minutes before Comcast fucked me.
Hey, welcome to Bats and Bones where we have internet again.
Yup.
Oh. Give it a spit shine.
So
Yes.
I talked about this briefly on stream with Jer last night, but Saberfly and I just got through the 2 worst arcs in One Piece. Thankfully.
So you've been through Dressrosa.
No. Skypiea and Long Ring Long Land. Dressrosa is like always sort of like an asterisk one because there's some really good stuff, but it super overstays its welcome.
Yeah, no, that's the main complaint I hear about that one is like a lot of really important and really good character development happens in that one, but it's too long.
Yeah, Long Ring Long Land, I can imagine being a lot better in the manga. Because we looked up like what parts of it were canon, but no, they like doubled the length of it, and so it super overstays its welcome, and it's pretty much just a gag arc to begin with.
Gotcha.
Oh, geez, just had to go hentai on this. What? What are you talking about? I've never drawn hentai before.
No comment.
But I've considered it for money.
I've drawn 1 or 2 things in my time that were a bit saucy.
Okay. Let's see if this will work now.
Really curious to see where you're going with this.
Not quite what I wanted to do. This probably doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be. Yeah, it doesn't. Hold on.
Probably doesn't need to be.
Probably doesn't need to be. But maybe it'll be anyways. There we go. Now it fits better in with that. I think that looks alright.
Yeah, no, I'm into it. Well, okay, I'm not my thing, but I'm into it as an I like it.
It's him. It's the boy. I've still got 20 minutes.
You've still got 20 minutes. You are even faster than me. You are Noom fast.
Noom.
You have beaten Dr. Robotnik.
I guess I need to think about a background.
Oh, yeah. Because I guess I did a little bit of that.
You did. Let's see. Well, shelter's normally in icy places.
Oh, true. Ice caves.
Shiny Zubit says 20 minutes, more drool. I don't really want to draw drool for 20 minutes.
Oh, but it worked so well when you had him in 4B. 2B? 2B.
2B. 4B?
Oh no, she has a letter and a number.
4B or not 4B?
Bees!
What if by 2, bells if by C?
My inexplicably lingerie-clad android full of bees ought to put a stop to that.
Oh my god. Thank you for showing me, Dr. Bees.
You're welcome.
Have I told you about the Eternal Empire in Star Wars?
I think so, but like, it feels like you're going somewhere with this, so tell me again.
I just ranting about Star Wars lore. We were talking about it earlier. So, the Star Wars MMO I'm playing, I just recently got to the expansion that I was at last time I quit it. And the character writing in this expansion is really good. Like, the scene-to-scene moments, it's the overall concept that loses me, which is, it's funny, because it's usually the opposite with Star Wars.
Yeah.
The whole concept of the MMO is that the after the Jedi originally defeated the Sith in lore, the Sith ran off into the uncharted space and then like hid and rebuilt an empire, and this one particular emperor went into the dark reaches of space and built up a secret empire and eventually came back to invade the Republic,
Which is kind of what they went with in Rise of Skywalker.
a little bit. the expansion, same timeline, just like, you know, I want to say 20 years after that initial, the Empire that built up in secret and invaded.
Yeah.
You chase off the Emperor, and he goes off and builds a secret empire in the distance, which builds resources and eventually invades the Republic again. And apparently, like, the idea is he was doing this at the same time he was doing the other empire. I'm like, he's got two secret empires? Like, it just kind of loses me.
Yeah, no. You can only have one of those.
Yeah.
Like, and I will say, like, for all its flaws, like, the sequel trilogy, I felt the First Order was a logical progression of, like, the Empire.
Starts out as regular Nazis and turns into neo-Nazis.
Exactly, yeah. Space neo-fascists. And, like, props to Mandalorian for actually, like, kind of, like, poking at that idea as well, since it takes place between the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy, like, showing these, like, pockets of Empire that, like, you get the implication, like, yeah, these guys don't seem like they're gone. Seems like they're just kind of, like, slowly rebuilding. Should we be worried about that? I feel like we should be worried about that. And just enough people going, it's probably fine. You can see how they got to where they were in Force Awakens.
I was actually having a conversation with Loopy Fritz about this. We watched The Bad Batch, which is fine.
Okay.
Don't waste
It's got a catchy title.
Yeah. Which is about some clone troopers after Order 66 who leave the Republic as the Empire. Yeah. As the Republic is transitioning to the Empire. And it is kind of cool to see the transition happen. But, like, in the end, the Empire is still, like, a big fascist regime. And, like, Loopy Fritz was wondering, it's like, you know, I kind of wish we got to see more of, like, why people stuck with the Empire.
Yeah.
And I disagree. There is a character in Bad Batch that does choose to stick with the Empire. But you don't really get a reason for it. He just sort of like, oh no, I'm doing it because reasons.
Gotcha.
But the Empire is very clearly, like, written in every instance as a system people agreed with, where they gave one person too much power who just totally turned it on its head, and no one wanted that. That was never, like, yes, there's this whole scene in Revenge of the Sith where everyone cheers, but I think everyone went home after that and went, oh, maybe we should have stabbed that guy. You know, like they did with Caesar.
Space Caesar.
Yep.
Yeah, no, and, like, from a lot of Star Wars media, like, people that did have ties with the Empire, a lot of them that weren't, like, high-ranking officers, you get the sense that they joined up because they didn't really have any better options at that point in their life.
Yeah. And it's very clearly supposed to be a, like, exploitative fascist regime.
Yeah.
And always is and always has been. And I don't think you can ever make that.
It seems like your average grunt on, like, a Star Destroyer, you know, isn't some dude who's like, yeah, whoa, empires. This guy was like, I don't know, man. I was in a rough place and they have food.
Yeah. And
I just kind of try not to think about it too hard.
Shiny Zubit says, believe in space wizards, not a problem. 2 hidden empires, you lost me. I just can't imagine why you do it twice at the same time.
I mean, he has a thing for that. He built a second Death Star.
Oh, I mean, different emperor, but yeah.
Fair. Oh, this is a different emperor.
But you can't really make that type of empire redeemable, especially because, like the like, what do you call it? The apologist idea is that, oh no, the Empire was more efficient than the Republic was, but it only lasted like 30 years. The Republic, as flawed as it was, lasted millennia.
Well, actually, you know, that just kind of ends up creating the same argumentative fallacy as when people try to argue that about real-world fashions, because people be like, oh, they were efficient, but if you look at it, they really weren't.
Yeah.
They gave off the appearance of it.
Yeah,
but they super weren't.
I'm kind of reminded of, okay, like, I don't want to get too into public events. Public events have happened. We all know this.
Oh, yes. Such events.
Yeah, I'm so tired of living through historical events. Anyways, looking into China, and I just had this question of, like, because I kind of realized that, like, okay, communism has been this big dirty word in America, and, like, I don't know as much about communism as I do about socialism, which is also a dirty word. But I just, like, so I know Russia's not communist anymore. People still think it is, but it's not at all. It's more of a capitalist oligarchy, if I recall correctly.
Oh, completely is.
And I'm just like, is China actually communist? And I'm looking into
No.
it. Yeah, they say they are.
They say they are.
They say they
not.
are. They are also kind of a capitalist oligarchy.
Yep.
They're what America. They're what the right wing is trying to turn America into.
Yes.
And I don't think the right wing gets
Fairly
that.
successfully, unfortunately.
Yep.
I will say of the two of them, China does wear its like communism costume a little more convincingly.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, if you examine the seams closely, it's like, no, that looks like a capitalist oligarchy to me.
Yep. Ironoki says, blank did nothing wrong is always bad. It's about as bad as I'm not racist, but yeah, and that's like I will say, like, despite this, like, don't get me wrong, I like sympathetic villains. It's just like kind of like Sauron and the Joker. Like the Sith Empire can't really specifically the Empire in the original trilogy can't be that.
No, it is perfectly fine, and media needs to have villains that just are big evil dudes.
Yeah.
You gotta have your Saurons. Like, don't get me wrong, I love... Okay. I'm not gonna say sympathetic villains, but I like understandable villains. I do. I like when a story can successfully pull off and service the story with a bit of explorations like, hey, this person's still wrong, but here's why they're like this. But I also argue there are definitely villains that you do not need that for and should not have that for, and there is also a place in media for those.
Yeah.
We don't need to know why Sauron is the way he is. It's enough that he's just a big evil wizard.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, like, mild spoilers for Centaur World, we find out exactly why the Nowhere King is the way he is, and it's really good. I know you don't care about that show, but like,
It's okay. Yeah.
it was just the immediate example that sprung to mind. Is like, yeah, no, and the main character even calls him out on that. It's like, wow, if you hadn't then used that to go kill a bunch of people, I would actually feel bad for you. Because it makes it very clear he's still wrong, but you get exactly every decision that led him to that point.
I do think they do some interesting stuff in the MMO's timeline, trying to humanize the Empire a little bit. That Empire in particular, mainly in that, like, it starts off as the Empire you expect. It's like, oh, big fascist, full of war crimes and very racist. But by the end of like the main story arc, like, there's actually this really cool little like short story bit where a guy named Darth Malgus, he's kind of like the poster child for this whole game, ends up rebelling against the Empire to make his own second empire.
Oh boy.
There's a lot of empires in this fucking game. But his whole thing is like, he's tired of the racism. He's like, no, I worked with plenty of aliens who were way more efficient than half the people we got, and I'm also tired of us fucking murdering perfectly good naval officers, and I think I can do it better. And it's this...
When I need a job that requires a dude that has 4 arms, I'm gonna go get a dude with 4 arms.
Yeah. And so like he is like someone both sides fight against. Mainly because like the Republic's mainly doing it's like, there's infighting in the Empire. We're gonna capitalize on this. And the Empire's like, this guy's fucking like rebelling. We're gonna fight against this.
Scrollert says, you get a secret empire, and you get a secret empire, and you get a secret empire.
I will say at least Malgus's wasn't secret.
Fair.
Anyways,
he was very open about it.
Yep. But after that conflict, the Empire immediately starts becoming more open-minded and letting more higher up, like aliens and non-humans and non-humanoids in their ranks. And it's very clearly this sort of like, okay, so Malgus made some good points. However, he did betray us. He did show...
Per our last email.
Yeah. but he was a traitor, and no, we killed him, but we are going to listen to what he said. And I kind of dig that. Yeah. One of my favorite Sith in the game is a guy named Darth Mar, who kind of takes over as after you kill the Emperor.
Oh boy.
He sort of takes over for like he's the like I'd say chairman of the Dark Council,
okay.
And he doesn't call himself the Emperor or anything. He's just like the Emperor has and always has sucked, and is now even more distant than he used to be. Let's actually turn this thing into a
functioning government.
Yeah, a functioning government. And he's really cool. And they a lot of the like. At the very least, the Sith in the part of the story I'm at right now, like, there's your, like, oh, I am evil and I am power. Yeah. But there's a lot of pragmatists, and I like that.
Nice. I also think that, like, with regards to the sequel trilogy, I think Disney made the right choice in, like, if they were going to try and, like, make any sympathy pockets within the Empire at all.
Mm-hmm.
I think they made the right choice by having it be, like, a few stormtroopers.
Oh, yeah. I mean, John Boyega's character was just, like, a huge missed opportunity. Like, he was so great.
No, Finn... Like, well, even what we got is still an interesting character.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
just a shame
for sure.
we didn't get even more, because he could have been, like, an even more interesting character.
He was easily the best concept.
Yeah, no. Also, I know he says, for some reason my brain invented the phrase Darmar the Narnar.
Oh my god.
Well, now you have to draw that. I'm sorry, that's the rules. Also, that's very effective snow.
Thank you. This is a technique I do not know. This is something I just started...
May I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Breath fog.
Breath fog. Oh, yeah. I like that idea. I will do that shortly.
You've got 10 minutes.
Got 10 minutes. I'm just getting a little bit more of this basic...
Yeah.
But yeah, there's another Sith who doesn't even get a Darth name. Lana Beniko. I think she's technically a lord, so it doesn't have the fancy Darth title, but like she kind of takes over for Imperial intelligence after the Imperial agent story kind of happens to that. And she's really cool. She becomes, regardless of what side you're on, she becomes a pretty firm ally of yours. And she describes herself as a pragmatist. It's like, no, if like I draw on the dark side. I'm all about like personal feelings and like the Force serving me instead of the other way around. If we have an enemy prisoner who, if we let them go, they will come back and get us, I will absolutely kill him. But like, I'm not gonna just like intentionally like murder someone. Yeah. Like if I have a reason, I'm not afraid to. But this illustration is getting intense. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, I'm really proud of this one. This is I want to say my favorite Babas or my personal favorite contribution to Babas in a while.
Yeah.
Like we don't make a culture of like, oh, who's better or anything like that, but like I do look at Alan's and I'm like, Alan, you really nailed the like quick format, and I like
Thank you.
I feel like I haven't been keeping up as far as the learning how to do what we do quickly.
I still say we should have a special retrospective episode one of these days where we just go through all the Babas pieces up to this point.
We should. I have, at the very least, a large majority saved.
Yeah.
I'm not ruthless about my unhesitant murder. I'm utilitarian.
Look, I'm not going to choke out a commanding officer just because he gave me lip. Darth Vader.
When I made my original Sith Warrior character, my whole like tagline for him is, "We would have won this war already if we didn't keep executing perfectly good naval officers."
It might have been you. It was someone. I remember someone saying like their whole bit for why they tried to encourage what was his name, Kylo Ren, taking out his frustration on the electronics instead of perfectly good officers, because the First Order doesn't have nearly as many disposable folks.
I don't think
we only have so many people. Please don't take it out on them. Just, here's a computer that's replaceable.
I don't think that specific conversation was me, but I love the fact that like the way the stormtroopers act is like not only like this was a recent occurrence. Like Snoke had to sit Kylo down and be like, okay, listen.
Yep. Because just perfectly acted the way they just kind of pause and like. Wordlessly like, you know what, let's patrol this hallway instead.
The Mandalorian end of season 1 Mandalorian bit with the stormtroopers, where the stormtroopers are just like sitting around waiting to go in the city. It's like, well, he just shot like 3 of his own men. Okay, we'll wait.
Yup. Yeah, no, like that's another thing I liked seeing with Mandalorian specifically was humanized stormtroopers who were still jerks.
Yeah.
Like, they're acting in a very, like, relatable human way, but they're still being assholes.
Mm-hmm.
But they're the exact kind of small, petty assholes you could imagine in a small town like that.
Mm-hmm.
They're mall cops.
Mm-hmm. But on that, I was reading a bit of lore about, two characters in particular, Thrawn and Tarkin.
I've heard about Thrawn a little bit.
Tarkin
is a very popular character in old extended universe stuff.
Yeah, he is very cool. And Tarkin is the old guy who actually like kind of outranked Vader in A New Hope.
Oh.
He was the guy in charge of the Death Star,
Gotcha.
and he's also he's a really fascinating character too. But like that conversation with Loopy Fritz about like I wish we could see more about like people who actually liked the Empire, and those are two people who liked the Empire. They were both fascists from the beginning, is the thing.
Gotcha. So there's not a lot to be gained from learning their stories.
Yeah.
So like, no, this is a person that just genuinely thinks might makes right. The end.
Pretty much. Tarkin in particular, like I find him very interesting because he very much strikes me as the idea of what like a American Republican is, and that like he's from what once was a backwater planet and was essentially part of the ruling class of the backwater planet. So he's a privileged person in an unprivileged place who kind of thinks that all of the like old guard privileged people are pieces of shit. And like you see where I'm going with this,
yes.
though. Like getting this breath fog right is difficult.
I think you just need to lower the opacity on that a tiny bit. Yeah, see, there you go.
I still think it's missing something.
Okay. It might be slightly too distinctive a shape. I have it fade out at the edges more.
I'm also wondering if maybe we should have steam coming off the tongue.
Oh, I mean, that would be horribly unwholesome. I'm for it. I believe the humans call this a strawed berry. What if part of the tactic for this fight is it gets its tongue stuck on things? That's when you take swings at it.
A little too much.
Oh, Shiny Zubats has a little Raichu emojis.
Oh. Sounds like Saberfly, to be honest.
Developed psychic powers from eating too many fluffy pancakes.
But yeah. Tarkin's a cool character. Again, one of those, like, definitely a villain, but you can see why. Thrawn I find interesting. I find Thrawn's whole, like, species interesting because throughout the Star Wars universe, even still in canon, their whole thing is basically like, we're just going to pretend we're allies with the Empire so we can get information on both sides.
Huh.
And that's pretty much what Thrawn was. Like, well, Empire's reigning power right now. I'm just going to snuggle up to them, be good at we're really efficient. I'll just be like one of their best admirals, and all of it's just to prepare for this thing that we know is coming.
Oh boy.
And it's kind of interesting. You look at like, because a lot of it's not even said, but like the only Chiss, who's what Thrawn is, you ever see in the galaxy are either official like diplomats sent from them, or are individuals who were mysteriously found after being exiled.
I think he wants to know who's that doctor lady, and I'm not clear what he means.
I don't know who's that doctor lady. Yeah, I'm not.
Quinn? Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman?
Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman? Yeah, you'll have to be more specific. Dr. Aphra. Oh, she's someone from the Darth Vader
okay,
comics.
that's a Star Wars character.
Yeah, I don't know too much about her.
Was she Anakin Skywalker's personal physician?
I do not know.
Does the Empire have healthcare?
You know, it actually probably does. I bet it's shitty.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just having a hard time getting this breath fog to look how I want it to, but I'm running out of time here.
Oh, you were on Alderaan when it exploded? Here's a Band-Aid. That's free.
Just dump a box of Band-Aids on the charred remains of the planet.
Oof. Yeah, another bit of world building like from The Mandalorian. Anytime anyone finds out that Kara's from Alderaan, there's depending on like who they are allied with, there is either a knowing sneer or a like brief sort of like wordless my condolences. You can definitely tell a lot about a character by the way they feel when someone mentions Alderaan.
Yep.
Which I like that it, lends the proper gravity that you didn't actually really see in a lot of the mainline movies to, like, hey, they blew up a planet.
Like a whole one.
Like a whole one with people on it.
Yeah.
Like, Alderaan doesn't exist anymore.
Mm-hmm. There's also another thing is that, like, people always talk about the Republic being inefficient, but also keep in mind that, like, the Sith were actively undermining any attempts to make it better for a long time. And I think that says something.
Yeah.
Anyways, this is the Guardian of the Pearl. I'm really proud of this one, guys.
It's real good.
Yeah, this one's
real good.
This is my favorite Bathis drawing in a while.
Woo!
Hope you all are enjoying Elden Ring and Arceus.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and wrap up, I think.
No.
Let's take another look at... Oh, God, it's so horrifying. I love it so much.
The mother of orbs.
You...
Oh, I love its horrible toothless mouse.
Yeah.
I was about to add teeth, and then I was like, no, it's so much worse without teeth. It's so much worse without teeth.
It does occur to me that I did get an extra 10 minutes because of...
fair.
So, I like...
You used them well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I will... I'm going to raid... it's either... I'm between raiding All the Action Figure, who we've raided before, who I usually play Among Us with. She's playing Phasmophobia right now. Rogue Sparrow Games is also someone I know who's been playing TTRPGs, and that might also be fun. I'm kind of thinking this time.
Go for it. They've got 5 whole watchers.
Yep, Code Soul Cast is also on.
Let's add a few more to that number.
Iron Oki's got some recommendations as well. I'll pop around and look at some of these, I guess.
Before we sign off, I guess I'd also like to note my shirt, since I kind of bought it for Babas.
Oh, sure, yeah.
It's not my design, but he got this one with a skeleton on it. It said "Staying Alive." He's holding a cup of coffee. It's lovely. Because, skeletons. They're on brand.
Yeah. I think I'll raid All the Action Figure. So you can always use some more views.
Cloyer is local.
I don't have a lot of networking spoons right now, so I'd rather raid a friend.
Fair.
But yeah, we've got Mother of Orbs and Guardian of the Pearl. I think these both turned out really great.
Who did that?
They're both really horrible.
I think, yours feels a little more Dark Souls and mine feels a little more Bloodborne, and, that works.
A little bit. I mean, like, I think we captured the two forms of a Soulsborne pretty well, in that we've got... we've got big horrifying monster and dude in armor.
Spooky dude in armor.
Yep. But yeah, before we go, thank you everyone for watching.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you. Couldn't do it without you.
Yep.
We'd just be talking to empty air. It'd be very sad.
And in fact, we did spend... I would like to remind everyone, we did spend a long time talking to empty air before you all joined.
That's true.
Thank you very much.
The first few episodes of Babas were rough.
Yep.
Now we've got 13 of you watching.
Yeah. So thank you all for watching, and thank you to my Patreon patrons, especially my high tier patrons: Abnerdoodle, Fable, Tia, Chocolate Bliss, Saberfly, Plothold C, Codigan, and Twasleaf. Gonna do without you guys. All right, we'll go to the end screen and we'll raid Ob.
Cheers.